Good afternoon. I thought I would just take a little while to record a short video to address a few of the things that are going on in the world today. I'm based in the UK, but I understand that a lot of these things that are happening here are happening around the world. So I hear a lot of people talking about how a lot of common people who are talking about the fact that they feel largely ignored by politicians and what used to be called the mainstream media. I'm not sure how mainstream it is anymore. And they feel ignored by these big companies, these big corporations. And, a lot of people are talking about this. They are saying that they feel that their thoughts and feelings on many subjects are largely being ignored. But I don't hear people talking about the solutions. So I'd like to talk about what I think is one of the solutions today. So, and more specific, let's talk about food. So I think that over many years now, we have seen the growth of the supermarkets. I remember when I was a child, there was very few supermarkets. But these supermarkets have spread, they become bigger and bigger. They have more stores and you have many different companies. And they are very, very convenient because our way of life has changed so much. It's so frantic, so hectic. And it's very convenient to be able to choose a supermarket and to go there once or twice a week and to get everything all under one roof. However, there is a price to pay for this. I think one of the things is obviously the health cost. So we know that these supermarkets are focused on profit. They are focused on sales. They are focused on us being lured in and spending our money. But they're not so concerned about our health, our well-being. They're just concerned about profit. Now, I think that if you look at smaller local businesses that produce local produce, it could be, you could go to your greengrocers and you could buy your vegetables there and your fruit there and a number of other things, then it's normally locally sourced and it's better for you. It's healthier. It's maybe a little bit more expensive, and I know that there are many people who have to take that into consideration. But personally, I think one of the most important things I can spend my money on is making sure that myself and my family are eating good food, good healthy food. If you look at the butchers, I use a local butchers, I use local farm shops or a greengrocer, and my local butchers produces grass-fed beef, and I have yet to find anywhere which produces such great quality meat. So I don't mind paying the extra because I know that that meat is good for me, and I'm having the best quality. And I find that by cooking meals from scratch, sometimes when I buy the mince from the butchers or whatever, that meal goes a lot further. And I can do a casserole and I can have 2 big meals out of that, sometimes more. And I feel fuller for longer. I can buy my eggs at the butcher's, I can buy my cheese, I can buy a lot of different things. I also have a milkman that delivers milk and my cream. Now, my milk, yeah, is more expensive, but it has it supports local farms, it supports the milkman, and I know that it doesn't have any of the nasties which we have heard so much about lately being in milk and cheese from the supermarkets. So the milkman, the greengrocers or farm shops, um, the butchers, and just generally local smaller shops. This is where I try and do my shopping. I try to use cash because I want to support my fellow local businesses, and yeah, I do have to go sometimes to bigger shops. I try and make that as infrequent as possible. But when I do go, I don't worry so much about using cash. I know I can use a card or whatever. But what I'd like to implore you to do is to let's support one another. Let's support our businesses and our livelihoods. Let's make the best decisions for our own health and the health of our families. Let's stop putting money in the pockets of these big corporations. Shop local. Let's, because a lot of these big companies, they weren't always big. They started off small, and they've got bigger and bigger, and they've had more and more shareholders, and they've made more and more money, and it's almost like it gets to a point where you wonder, do they sort of resent us for our custom, because they take us for granted. And I know that there are certain companies that are quite adamant that they are going to do away with the farmers that supply them. They feel that they're so much bigger and above their suppliers that by a certain year they won't need farmers. They will be producing their own food. And you've got to ask yourself, is this in our best interests? So, I'd just like to say, support one another. Let's pull together. Let's stand together. Let's make sure that our voices are heard. Let's make sure that we are supporting one another, because love is where it's at, people. So I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.